We are here to bring you everything and anything surrounding Porsche. I'm Mike.
I'm Aaron.
And this is P-Car Talk. Episode of P-Car Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Aaron.
Let's thank our people.
Let's do that in like 2 or 3 seconds.
All right. Sweet.
I looked at a
text
message. I looked at a text message and it threw me off the course. I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, let me click on this. It looked tantalizing, and then it's just...
Plus, we got distracted. We were talking about...
Package was delivered.
Going to other locations for the drive the next year, because we've already talked about that. But we got sidebarred before we even got started on the show. It was just kind of like, hey, where should we go next year? Time to switch it up.
We're going to split up. Mike's going to go to one side, I'm going to the other side. We're just meet up.
Be like, all right, we got a west and an east rally.
They're still in the East Coast, but
they're talking about the east and the west of the state. It's probably about time to switch it up. But like we have some stuff cooking. Obviously, don't want to share that yet because we still have this year's drive. So we need to get on with that.
Yeah,
right? We're already moving on to next year.
This year was great. Good times.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
So we got Leslie and Chris S, Steve J, Ken S, Richard P, Aaron L, Matt G, and Sean H, and Nick F.
Thank you guys so much. That's the lead in for that. Yeah, the members drive anyway, so that's perfect, right? We'll get into more of that later in the show. Let's get rolling. So Porsche had a board meeting with all the higher-ups a few days ago, suspectedly to kill the EV Cayman and Boxster completely, like off the books.
You get invited to the Zoom meeting?
No, I didn't make that one. Actually, I put a maybe on it.
Yeah, they're tentative.
I got something going on. But what further supports this is they've taken off their configurator. So that's, you can't even go in and play with it anymore. They've taken that off of there. So all signs point to that's going to die, which is a good thing. I mean, there's 2 ways to look at this, right? Like a lot of money's been spent. Like we need to go ahead and finish this project and move forward with it. I think it would just lead to further loss of money, further bad press, and it also would put a strain on their dealer network for them to try to push that car. Like initially, everybody would have excitement on that, but I think it would die fast.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it needs to really. They just need to put a pin in it. I don't know why it has to be done terms. I think it's just not time for it yet.
No, it's not. Everybody was too quick. Everybody. Like, it's not just them. Every manufacturer was way too fast, and everybody's recording. I mean, I'm sure no one's fact-checking it, but throwing really, really big numbers out in open press about, like Volvo's losing $2.23 billion. Stellantis is losing $36 billion, and all these people, yeah, I get it. It's interesting with those losses, like there still has to be some technology gain. So they're just kind of they're globalizing it by saying that number. But there has to have been some gain from that. It's not a total loss. So I think it's kind of like it's also like an inflated number, right? Like it's you can report that and maybe take your losses and try to get something back from it. But
it's one big B. Yeah.
They're looking at, it's like, oh, well, we don't have a product. And it's like, okay, well, R&Ds cost money no matter what you do. So there's probably a lot of expense that a lot of auto manufacturers spend every year that they don't report as a loss, but it's probably within their budget. This was way outside of it because they thought they were going to come to market with something. So I get that. But I mean...
Yeah, I mean, what? But they had it's like having no car and then having... to go to the whiteboard and go, what does this look like?
Well, this is a proper kill because what would happen here is if they did, this car would be a failure to launch, and then people would bitch and moan, and they would even have more brand degradation, and people would be like, what the hell is Porsche doing? They were like on top of the world like 3 years ago, and now, like, why did they come through with this? So I think what they're going to do is probably a lot of the architecture and design from it, they're going to use some of that, obviously. And I'm talking more of not like the engineering of the motor and all that, like that stuff, because those are not plug and play. That's not happening. I think that's what the whole hang up is here. Like they thought it would be a lot easier to just like, all right, we're going to stick an engine in here where this would be at. And I think they're losing even more money trying to do that as opposed to just scrapping the whole thing and saying, okay, cool. We want this silhouette. We already know what this tech's going to look like on the outside. We know what the tech and the inside is going to look like. It's probably going to have the same architecture as pretty much their entire lineup, meaning like the 992s. It's going to have that same stuff. It's like, all right, cool. We got a 4-liter. Let's put some particular stuff on this so it'll pass admissions and like get it back in these cars and get these things rolling as quickly as possible.
So you think like the people posting like the last 4RS is kind of premature? I've seen so many posts about that. Like last one, I'm like, I mean,
to be fair, Porsche's done this before, right? Like, and it's not the consumer's fault, and I don't necessarily it's anyone's particular fault. If you really have to blame somebody, I would say probably government and EPA people to blame for this, because the big manufacturers are just trying to abide by those laws, because a certain percentage of your fleet has to be EV or you have to meet emissions, and they were so strict, right? And then everybody pulled the reins back on all that and pulled the timeline back on all that, because they realized how much money was being lost across the board for everyone. And there's like, this is not going to work. So
do you think it's time for like a totally new name and everything else for that line, or do you think that's kind of a waste of time to?
I think they're scrambling so badly right now. I think we're going to see a car faster than a lot of people think, and I think there may be some design cue changes. There's not going to be some radical changes, and I think there's going to be a lot of upset people, because basically the car took a break. I think it'll look different, but I think it'll function the same. And what I mean by that is I think we'll see a motor that we've already seen. We're not going to see new architecture in the motor. They was like, we already have this stuff. You know, it's not like they stopped selling this thing 10 years ago. It's like been, what, a year and a half since they cut production on it, really. And they were just fulfilling orders still, really.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw them put the 4-liter back in the higher level models. I think the bigger question is do they go back to sticking the flat 4 and a turbo back in them?
Flat 4 with a hybrid turbo.
I don't even know if they're going to mess with that, to be honest with you. Because
hybrid turbos everywhere else. Why not toss in there? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I just don't know. I think they're in a rush right now. And I think if that other car, if the flat 4, and if they just got to stick another like catalytic converter on it to get it to pass, I think that's what will happen. Like,
but what if they don't? What if they just stick with their other, like the way they launch things, and just go high model up first?
Yeah,
and then
they could. I mean, the architecture's there already. I mean, I guess they could really. They got to just figure out how. They got to build the back half of the car, basically.
we got 3/4 here, boys.
Yeah,
we need
because all they got to do is stick that motor in there, right, and then get it to be able to breathe differently than the 911, and then they should be good to go.
Yeah. Twin turbo motor like all the other 911s, right?
I mean, shit, really, like they don't need to do NA. Why don't they just go 3-liter? Yeah, small turbos like the 99. They can do.
Use the same
basically
motor.
take the 991.2 base motor, the 3-liter with the twin turbo, stick that on there, figure out what you just said, how to make those turbos electric so there's no lag, and just stick and
nasty
just,
power.
Just don't, you know. It's like, as bad as this sounds, I mean, if you don't know anything about engineering, this is a pretty easy fix, because you can. Your S can be the base model, or not necessarily the base model.
Because now it's just tuning software.
Yeah. Then, you know, the GTS gets a tune and it gets a 50 horsepower bump. I mean, and that's not something new. That's already happening in the 99. That was happening in the 991.2.
Yeah.
So the base was the same engine. The maps just changed and the turbo sizes changed. You know, as you moved up the line, the turbos got bigger. But the core of the engine was still the same. So, like, that's easy. That's bolt-on shit.
Already got side ducts.
Yeah.
Already have vent ducts for the GT4, so just, I mean, figure out which one reroutes. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route. It would be the easiest route. I think the only hang up on that route would be would it be emissions compliant? Like, would that?
Well, you wouldn't need as much power,
work?
I would imagine, because you got less weight, right? So maybe you could get away with power numbers being different.
Yeah, it could be a little less.
Using less.
So you're using a little bit less boost too, even. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's for them to figure out. But I mean, they do that shit for a living, and like we pretty much squared that up in like 2.5 minutes. So like if
we build the back
they sit around and get paid for this shit every day, I guarantee this is they already have a game plan.
Yeah.
It's already in place. It's not like they have to come up with it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
The difference is they just need basically the king Dingling to say,
Ding.
Okay, we killed this project. That's green lighted. Go. Basically, that's what's going to happen here. Like, that's from everybody that I've talked to and everything I've understand and read. That's already happened. We just don't know what they've green lighted yet because that's inside baseball. They haven't talked about that yet. That will be released eventually, but I think they don't want to be too premature with it because when you talk about, okay, we've switched gears, we're going to go to this, then the next question from every journalist is when. When are we going to see this car? Yeah. And then consumers. So
they don't say.
Yeah, so consumers are next.
Yeah.
When can I place an order for that car? When can this happen? So they need to be very, like, I think that's why they're being very, cautious with their timeline. So they're going to come out and say, yeah, we killed the EV. The next one's coming soon. Stay tuned. And also put them in a good situation to get some momentum, like to have some positive, like, release stuff, right? Like to have a launch where people are more excited about, like,
another Nürburgring time.
Yeah, where people are just kind of like, cool, like, and people will be excited. There's a cult following behind those cars. People like that open air, like, vibe, and people want the mid-engine car. Like that car has to always live in the lineup. Personally, I think that car. We talked about this on other episodes. I don't want to harp on it, but you don't have an entry-level car, dude.
If they use that motor, I had a thought too. If they use the motor and they have it's open air like that, they could throw on the old Can-Am livery with the twin turbo one, like the blue and yellow stripes. Relive some of those turbo things.
I think they should just basically take the 991.2 motor and stick it in that car. I mean, it's shown reliability and tunability. You put that in. I mean, if you don't even know,
it's our 2JZ.
Yeah, if you don't know that even those modern chassis, even the most recent like flat 4 turbo Boxster S's, they were coming in at under 3,000 pounds. They were like 2,995. Yes, just barely, but they were. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing in this day and age. You can still make a 3,000-pound car. And it be safe and have all the safety features. Like if they can get close to that number, even if they have to add only 100 extra pounds for whatever safeties, it's like, so you're basically looking at 3,100, and you have a car. It's got like 400 horsepower out the box on low boost. All the tuner people are going to get a hold of that thing. So now instead of running a 2.5 liter flat 4, it's running a 3 liter flat 6 twin turbo. I mean, we've seen it. It's no secret. A million people have watched YouTube on those base 911s that are with an intercooler upgrade, a tune, and like clearing up that exhaust. Like you're deep into the 5s.
Yeah.
So it's like you put a 500 horsepower or something like, after you tune it, like into that 3,000-pound car. I mean, talking about like whipping people's ass with that thing in the mountains. I mean, it probably can whips people's ass out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, what on our rally that I forget that guy's.
Josh's Vandergrips.
Yeah, his just recently, but his buddy had a Miami Blue one 2 years ago, and that was a 2.5 liter. That was just an S with a tune on it. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
It sounded awful, like the roof was caving in.
It did.
Hopefully, something dramatic didn't happen out there. Something bad happened outside.
Sonic
boom. We're gonna move on. The house hasn't fallen apart yet, so. But anyways. I think a lot of people will be a lot more excited about that personally, other than just like the EV, hard chargers. And I think this will bring a lot of enthusiasm back. Yes, will it piss a lot of people off who thought they were buying the last of the last? Yeah, but that's happened before with Porsche.
But it's still going to be like the last of that year of that, that time. And then maybe they do something different. Maybe there's a 6-speed instead of a 7-speed transmission, those.
I mean, we just went through this not too long ago with them with GT products, right? Like we're like, oh, the 911R is going to be the last manual GT product ever made. That's why I went through the roof, right? And then 6 months later, Touring came out that was manual, and people lost their minds. Like, I paid what for this car? You cost me so much money.
And then the ST, and then the ST. Now there's a
GT3
Touring.
You just get manual. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Like, so this has happened before. Like, I think what a lot of people need to realize is none of it, I don't think, is malicious intent. I don't think they're trying to manipulate customers. I think
they're always trying to be better, and then once they figure out, that is better, let's continue.
They're just like any other business. Like, they're not perfect. They make mistakes. And I think with the EV situation is, I think if of all the brands, if the government wasn't forcing their hand, I don't even think they would have ever entertained making an EV at all. Maybe outside of the Taycan, I think for just an exercise of making one.
Yeah.
Like if they weren't required to make one and they were like, look, you can't sell cars unless you make these, I don't even think they would be going, they wouldn't even been talking about it really.
We'd still be making air cooled.
Yeah, right? Like, or something like all performance level, right? Because they know people want that. Like they don't want to make, like, they don't want to make shit that people don't want. So that's bad for them. That's bad for dealerships. That's just bad for everybody. So I'm happy that they're not going to see this thing through just for the sake of seeing it through, to be like, well, we spent all this money on this, we did all this, because we know there's plenty of auto manufacturers that do that. They're like, we're 90% there. We're launching this damn thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm telling you this is a mistake. Don't do this. And they launch it, and then they sit on lots. And then it's kind of like, what do we do with this? Because that even looks... Now you've got something that you've taken all the way. Yes, it didn't cost you that much more, but you're costing your dealerships. You're costing these people.
Yeah, you got a space
like, they're like, we can't sell this thing, dude. So now people are like, and then on top of that, it brings up, speculation, right? For especially like journalists.
They're not doing well.
Yeah, like, well, what's going on? Nobody wants them. Oh yeah, they're stupid. I can't believe they did this. And
yeah.
So they're not launching that, may seem controversial, but actually probably going to be a great move in the long run, to just be like, look, cool. And honestly, they can, like you said, put a pin in that thing. They never released what that thing was really going to look like. They never released numbers. So like, that's smart where you keep all that stuff in-house. So like, when the time does come, you can just piggyback on the existing technology that you already spent the money on.
Yeah, you got no timeline now.
And then that thing can be spun up probably real fast. They're like, look, all the blueprints, all this stuff is still right here. It's all ready to go. And
this probably gives them another 5 years, to be honest. Like at least another cycle,
exactly.
5, maybe 10 years to.
Yeah, and the architecture probably for that car can stay there, and all they have to do is change the battery cells. And that'll change with technology. The motors will change, and like, it'll probably be ready to go faster when it is the right time in the world for that car, as opposed to be like, all right, we'd start this all over again.
Well, I can't imagine it's that far away from that Cayman electric race car that they made. Like, you just can't be that far from that architecture. I mean, that's something they made super, soon. Yeah. And there's no series for that. There's no real reason.
And Porsche's done this with a lot of stuff. Like we've covered stuff like this on the show, where so many people that claim to be, Porsche enthusiasts have no idea. I mean, that 911R hybrid, that was 997 generation.
Yep.
Like, people didn't even know that car existed.
7, 8.
And it's like, dude, that was a hybrid race. That was like a hybrid race car, dude. You're like, what? I didn't know that happened. You're like, yeah, they're always doing stuff like that. They're always testing stuff. I mean, race cars hybrid right now, and it has been for a while. It's like even the older ones.
The RS Spider started it.
Yeah. So good on that. It'll be interesting to see. I'm calling a 3-liter twin turbo, small twin turbos going in that car is what I'm thinking.
I think if they don't do that, they'll at least be a 3-liter. I think it'll at least be a 6.
I don't think that any of those are going to be NAs.
Yeah, I think the NA.
I think if they have an NA, it'll be the 4RS still. Like, I still think they'll make that car. I still think they'll still make the GT4. I think those 2 cars will be the NA cars. I think the rest of the cars in that lineup, GTS, and a base, I think they'll all be turbo cars, honestly. And maybe you make the step difference, meaning the base one is the 2.5-liter flat 4.
Yeah, still turbo. Yeah.
Then S becomes a 3-liter. So like, people will step up. So basically, you're kind of forcing people's hand.
3944 of you.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still got to have that entry level car, right? So like the young upcomers who want to still get into Porsche but don't want to spend $300,000 out the gate.
Reflect that too. Like,
I agree.
It needs to be like, maybe they do have be another win for them, is to like get that pricing down there.
Yeah, like we talked about it before. They made a Cayman T, but it was a joke. It's not really a stripper model. Like, really make a stripper model. Make a base level car, maybe, manual and PDK car, 2.5-liter turbo Cayman.
Yep.
and price it at like 65 grand.
Start and point it towards the Corvettes and
Yeah.
go, hey, you think you're not even ready for the 911?
Cloth,
you can't outrun this.
cloth seats.
Yeah.
No leather, anything, like no AC seats, no ventilated seats, excuse me, like heated, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
No PCM, none of that stuff. Like those things will fly off the shelf. They'll fly off the shelf just because of the tunability on that to begin with, being mid-engine. Like them going the other way and just trying to scale up, like you're just isolating people. You're like you're leaving people out. Like the whole goal is to keep younger people coming in. If there's younger people can't come in because the starting point starts at 140, 150 to get into a sports car, like that's just not real. That's not realistic.
Kind of like take the S2000 and figure it out.
Yeah, like I mean, they have all the tools. Like it's okay to. I think you should have an entry level car, like as a brand. It doesn't matter if they're trying to be, the next freaking Bugatti or whatever. You're not. You're not that. Like you make too many cars, you'll never be that. Like if you want to be that, you just need to halt production now. Like we're just done making cars. Like that's how you become Bugatti. Like we made 10 Chirons in 6 months. That's how you become Bugatti. Like Porsche is way scaled up to that. Like they make way too many cars to ever be in that. Like they sell way more cars than Lamborghini and Ferrari. Like they're never going to be those brands. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No. That's not what they wanted to be in the first place.
Well, you can't sell the lineup of cars you sell, and you can't, for the way I look at it, is you can't live in both areas, like as a manufacturer and a product seller. Like you can have high scale, which they already do, which they do well. Like all of their GT cars, all of their specialty cars always sell out. There's always a waiting list for it. That's the goal. That's what's happening. That's great.
There's still a waiting list for a car they don't even know exists.
And to support all those cars, their formula was always like, we need to sell Panameras, we need to sell Cayennes, we need to sell this to support those departments because we sell so few of those cars. Now they're trying to be upscale everything. Like that doesn't work because now you don't have enough people frequenting your dealership. You don't have enough people coming in and out of your brand to scale up to go buy $500,000-$600,000 GT3 RSs. Because now you have people that are like, oh, you want me to spend $200 on a Cayenne? Pack sand, dude. Like, I'm not interested. And now those cars that used to be your foundation and building blocks, people don't want those cars because they cost so much. And that whole formula of, oh, well, you need to buy this to be able to get that. Like that, I feel like the more the price goes up, the less that formula works. Like you could get away with that when you had $70,000, $80,000 Cayennes and $60,000 Macans where they're like, hey, you haven't bought enough cars with us. And it's like, okay, cool. What do I need to do? But when you're like, hey, you need to buy like 3 or 4 Cayennes, like at 200 grand a pop. And then what? Lose 70 grand on each one of them. And then I can pay ADM on a 3RS.
I was going to say, and you need to pay this ADM thing.
Because people are just, they've gotten to the point where they just have fatigue on it, man. It's like, dude, what? What do you want me to, what? Like, I'm buying a Cayenne because I want one. It's just, I don't know. I think they need to scale all of those cars that are their building blocks down some, to be honest with you. At least the base model of them all. Like, that base model on all of those, I think, needs to go down a dramatic amount. Because I think they need to get back to where they were, back to their basics of getting people in the door.
Yeah.
Getting people interested. Because how many people have we met over time that end up getting an entry-level car, and they're like, man, I love this car so much. And he's like, man, I didn't know what I was missing because they come from another brand or they never had a Porsche before. And then they go, wow, I'm going to drive this for a little bit, and then I'm going to upgrade. Like, I think
natural progression.
Yeah, I think every new person we've ever met that first gets introduced to the brand is that way. What we haven't been hearing a lot of is that. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, I got this, and I'm gonna drive it for a bit.
Yeah, I heard that with 991 a lot. I haven't heard anybody say that with 992. I haven't heard anybody say like, "Oh, well, I bought a base 992. It's like I love the car so much. My next car is I'm gonna go get like a GT3." Like, I haven't heard anybody say that because the Delta is so big. They're just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna drive this, tune it, and live with it, right? And not that that's a bad car, but the excitement, I feel like with like when people with 991s and they were getting them, and not that 991s are beautiful cars, are great. I love 991s. Like I'm looking at
We
one.
know. Well, at least I know. Maybe
Yeah.
not. We
No,
know
I'm not
what I
really
know.
sharing that. I don't want to like sell that car because they sell themselves. They don't need me to sell it, right?
Buy all of them.
No, don't. I need another daily. I want a daily at 991.2. That's what I want. I want a daily that. That's probably going to happen next year. But I'm just saying in general, there's some sweet spots out there with Porsche. You just have to do the research. Like you have to. I guess it's easier for us to say because we have more than one already. It's easy for us to be able to pick something that fills a block. Like I need a daily, right? Like so most people are like, well, I'm still looking after to try to get one car. Like you have cars that do different things. But you know the 991 as a platform as a whole, that car can do all of it. It can daily drive. It can go to the mountains. Like we've talked about this before. It's less compromising than 997s. You know, let's be honest. Like that's the enthusiast spec chassis. Because there are some compromises with it. I mean, it's a modern classic, but let's be real. It's not. You know, if you go get an S, they're beautiful cars. I always think they'll be beautiful, but they're not the same build quality as like the 991 chassis. Like it's all aluminum chassis. That car was lighter than a 997. If you do a lot of people don't know that chassis, even though it's a bigger car, it's a lighter car, like base car for base car. Like the 991's lighter. But anyways, I don't know. There's a lot there. So we'll see. So Magnus, this is a follow-up story. The Magnus Walker RM Sotheby's collection that's going for sale. They posted the cars, and you know they show the range of each car. For what I saw on the range, some of the stuff it stood out to me. You know, and I love the air cooled stuff. Most of his stuff is air cooled, but some of the cars that really stood out for me, I'll start with the air cooled. The only air cooled I really want. He has a couple narrow body cars that are short wheelbase, like some of the old heads are like really like diehards about, but. Yeah. Not really my thing, but so we're not going to talk about those. You could go on there and look at them if you want. I think they're a little strong on money with those, but I feel like a lot of these are pretty fair price because they're miled up, and not in a bad way. I just like he bought cars that were driven and he drove them as well, like as you should. That's always been my philosophy. So the 930 Minerva blue car. It's an early car. It's a 3.0 car, so it's a pre-intercooler car. Sotheby's is thinking 175 to 200 on that car. I think that's a little light. I think that car is going to probably go for more than that. But sorry, I meant to lead with this. The interesting thing on all of these cars, no reserve on any single one of them, which is insane. Which is not like insane, like oh my god, he's crazy. It's insane in a great way because that means every single one of them is going to sell. So whether that be high, low, they're selling. And honestly, if your goal is to sell cars, you should be selling the car at no reserve because your goal is to get rid of it. Like there's so many like
which probably puts in. I guess it's a good point too because if you have a reserve, that means it's anchoring everybody's mindset to like
because what's it going to take, right? Because now everybody's like, what's it going to take?
Now nobody knows.
Yeah, and the psychology behind that, I can tell you, I work at a place that we sell cars for a living, and the reserve cars, you wouldn't believe it, 90% of the time outperform cars with reserve. And now there's some outliers that don't work that way, but most of the time, majority of the time, that no reserve cars outperform the other ones because people are bidding knowing they're taking the car home, no matter what. And I don't know how RM does it, but I like on our online auction site, it doesn't say when the reserve is met either. So you're always if it's either on or off. Nice. So before it gets listed, it says no reserve on it. So that never changes once it's no reserve. But if a reserve is met, unless the seller says the reserve's met, which we always say is a bad idea because generally speaking, then everything comes to a halt.
Then it would just stop. Why would I pay more than what you want?
Yeah.
You know?
So I don't know. But from everything that I've ever watched, the no reserve stuff always does well. And that's probably what he probably listened to RM because they probably said the same thing to him. They're like, look, people will be excited because you're Magnus to begin with. These cars are going to sell, and honestly, I congratulations to him for listening to them because, everybody can get kind of emotional about their car, especially when they want to sell it, if they've been attached to it. And they're like, well, I got to get this to her. I'm going to hang on to it, right? Like, everybody gets that way.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the opposite of a tire kicker is, the seller / tire kicker is like, well, if it doesn't sell for this, I'm not selling it. It's like, well, then you don't really want to sell the car, right?
Just wanted to show and display.
So, I don't know. That's just always, I've always thought that, even before, you know, I worked there. It's one of those things. It's like, well, then just ask for that. You know, like,
they're just worried about not getting enough money,
Yeah.
or not being comfortable. Where
well, a lot of what we find out too from our research, a lot of people have this grand idea of like what they saw one car on either a rival auction site, or they saw on Mecum,
that outlier.
Yeah, while they're walking through their damn living room because it's on, or they saw a text message from a friend, or they get, you know, like, I mean, we're not even in the JDM world, and how many people came up to us like, you see that Supra that sold at Mecum for like $300,000? I'm like, yeah, it was an outlier. Like, who cares? Like, that shit doesn't matter. Like, that's like the Cayenne that we sold on our site sold for, you know, almost $100,000. It's like, you see that base model Cayenne, just because it was green, sell for like $100,000, like it had 45,000 miles. I was like, that's insane. It's like, yeah, that's never going to happen again. Okay, it's an outlier.
How much did that one guy's do?
I think it did pretty good. I think it did like upper 40s, the one it came in after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a flurry of those come in, you know, like, because everybody who had one saw that guy sell the one for like nearly $100,000, and then everybody else came in, and it was like, whoa. I mean, I don't even remember the number. It might have been even over 100, actually. Like,
yeah, it was over.
Yeah, it was over.
It was strong.
Yeah, it was like 125 or something like that, right? Something crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Magnus. So I think for me, the biggest car that he's selling, I wish I was in a position that I could bid on, is the GT2.
Yeah.
There's so few of them, and you don't get to see them come up that often for sale anywhere, like even just for list, not even auction. And
got anybody in Alpharetta bidding on that, or no?
I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people bidding on this car, because it's at a price point where it puts a lot of people in play.
I mean, it's not, and I mean, it's used, because if you watch the video on it, you'll see those seats are pretty worn, and even though, but it's a cool color. Cool color combo.
Yeah, but I mean, even with that, like, it's a driver car. It's almost 100,000 miles on it. But I mean, as we know, a Metzger engine car run a million miles. Like that guy, where's he live at, in Connecticut or something like that? Rhode Island. It's got almost 1 million miles on his. Never been opened up. It's good to go. Like,
he just had the turbos rebuilt.
Oh, at what?
375,000 miles in those turbos.
Wow. So it just shows you what it's capable of, right?
Yeah.
So their RM's estimating that car between 125 and 150. I feel that's low, maybe just because miles. And like, honestly, I think, if I'm being honest, if it wasn't Magnus, they probably wouldn't even accepted this car. I mean, it's a GT2. Don't get me wrong; it's a very special car.
I think the miles wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think so. The reason why I'm bringing that up, I think they're having a hard time with some of these finding comps
for valuations. Yeah.
To think we're like, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because these comps don't hold true anyways, because it's a no reserve car.
Yeah.
So, but they always, as a courtesy, want to give people an idea where they think the car will go at. That doesn't mean this car's going to go at that. I mean, this car might easily go into 200, no problem.
I didn't even look at that. I haven't seen the last GT2.
I didn't pull comps on this thing. I mean, not that I'm not a player, so I don't care. But even like what you were saying about the seats, like even you can get that redone for a couple.
But I'm
grand,
saying
couple grand.
Black on the caramel color is.
Really I don't
cool
think I've ever seen one of those either. But I mean, even the seats can get redone. That's not that big of a deal. Like, the car looks good. It looks the part. And
it's all factory. For what he was saying too, is all factory.
Yeah, minus wheels. Minus the wheels, right? Now, I know he got a smoking deal on it from Auto Kennel, because that's where he got the car from. And, like, I know he's buddies with that guy, and he hooks his boys up out there. So, like, this car, a little, like, I don't know who had it. I don't know how Auto Kennel got it. But, like, when Auto Kennel got it, like, it never even got listed. Like, basically, Magnus got, like, a text and was like, hey, I got a GT2. It's got your name on it. And he's just, like, came and got it. He probably paid nothing, meaning, like, the guy at Auto Kennel probably got it not for a lot, because it was miled up. And that was before the GT2 craze. And so Magnus, in turn, probably got a good deal on it. So, I mean, if I had to bet money, I bet Magnus isn't into this car for more than 75. If I had to bet money, 75,
That's
80.
probably fair.
So this car will probably,
So even if it does valuation, he still makes money.
he's gonna make money on no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the low side, he'll make money on. I don't think it will. I think realistically, where I think this car will land, like looking at like what their eval on it and 100,000 miles, I think 175 it'll get
Yeah,
this
I was
thing.
thinking about 2 maybe.
I think 2 will be strong, but I mean you got to remember like these type of places call in their comps. So if you pay 175, you'll be close to 2 with the comp. No, I don't say comps. Sorry, your fees.
Yeah.
So you'll be close to 2 if you pay 175 on it, anyways. But I think the hammer price is their terminology. Will probably end up be. I think 175 will probably get it done.
But also go find another unmolested GT2.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is there's not a lot of them for sale, and the ones that are for sale are usually like $250,000.
Yeah.
And they're not this miled up, to be fair. Most of them, and they're not super low miles either. They're like right in between. I would say like 40, 50,000 miles, most of them, and they're asking $250,000.
Take it, send it back to Porsche Classic, have it restored, and then.
So you don't even need to do that.
No, I know
can
you wouldn't
just
need
drive
to.
this thing right out the gate, right? Like, I mean, think
Just
about
continue
if
to
you
put miles on
if
it.
you had the means to afford let's just call it, let's just say it's $175,000, just for the sake of argument. Think about how stress free this would be. Like if you were, really really OCD, you could get the seat recovered or fixed or whatever. But outside of that, if it's bone stock and you want a little bit more rowdy, put a tune on it, put some exhaust, keep the wheels, and drive it. You could drive this car for 5 years and not lose a penny, and I promise you probably could sell it for $175,000 and put another 20,000 miles on it because it's already miled up anyways.
Yeah.
And that it has the Magnus Walker panache attached to it now, where it's be like, oh, this used to be Magnus Walker. Like, you as this coming second owner, I would say the owner after him will still be able to carry that through, and it'll be fresh enough for if you keep it and try to sell it, it'll do well because of that. Still be like, oh yeah, I bought it from Magnus at the RM thing. Like, and everybody in the Porsche world should know that already. So I think this car has a lot of room and a lot of legs. So I mean, I think even if you pay $200 for this, I think you're still going to be okay. I mean, what is there, 184 of these worldwide?
Yeah,
Some crazy
many.
number.
And it's crazy. I mean, even that, like,
And that's a worldwide number, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
how did you
super
make
low.
so, like, how was this car slept on for so long?
And those are 450 pounds lighter than the turbos were.
Yeah.
Like, they're super. And they have the better clutch
I
too.
should have bought one of
They're
these
not.
before
They're
I
not
bought my
assisted
G-
clutches either.
Yeah.
So they're like the Legger GT3s.
Yeah, I should have bought one of these before I bought my 997 because I could have probably bought one for about what I paid for my 997 at the time.
Yeah, my
because
dad.
they were about 90.
I'm trying to get my dad to get one back in the day.
Yeah, they
They
were
were
about
like 60s,
yeah.
60 or
Just
70s.
the one I looked at. Like, I mean, there was a guy locally that had one. I think he sold it for what, 75, 80?
Yeah.
I mean, it had a ding on it from Carfax, but not like crazy. I don't think.
Silver one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about that. At one point, I remember seeing these around the 85, 90 range. I wouldn't say all day because there still wasn't that many of them, but like 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah.
all of them silver because they didn't make a bunch of colors in them.
That's the other thing. Like, there's some right things about this, even with miles.
Yeah. So
What do you think that Minerva turbo is going to do?
I think it'll do 250. I think it'll go above. I think, and then an honorable mention car, like which I thought was a really fair evaluation. His 996 GT3 was evaluated at between 100,000 and 125.
I think that's
mean,
what they're going for. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying
I mean,
him being attached to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even think that's. Yeah, I think that's low. I agree.
Yeah, I think that car will go above that just because of his. But I mean, you gotta like, it's not hard to do. Like you could all of that livery he put on it. That's all just decals. Like you could take that off if you're not into it.
Or
It's
do
not
you,
paint.
Or do you keep it because?
Well, that's the thing is either you gotta love it.
Yeah, I guess you're in the you like if you get it, if you're getting it because you just want a GT3, that's one thing.
Yeah.
And you get a good deal on it. But if you get it and you're paying up for it,
Like that 996 GT3, you're buying that because that's his car because he put decals on that car. Like to take that off there's enough 996 GT3s out there that are silver.
Yeah.
That aren't his car that you could buy
For
that
that
you don't
same
even
price-
have.
in that price range.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you don't have to mess with that stuff. So you're buying it because he owned it. So like I feel like that car, you got to love the way that thing looks, because that's the whole point of that car, even though it's just decals.
You get up in the morning, putting on your Nikes.
Yeah,
And
right. And your little bowler hat.
make sure you get your Hot Wheels car.
So I think that the comps on this are pretty fair for the most part.
Yeah.
But I do still, because he's attached to that GT3, I think that GT3 will probably do like 150 if I'm like guessing. But you know, of the bunch, that GT3 is probably going to be the cheapest car of this entire bunch. He's got a couple other long hood cars that are going to be going up for sale that have higher comps than this anyway. So I didn't
Is that market pretty strong still? I haven't looked at it in a while.
It is just for the it is because there's so few. Like that's a really unique market in the sense of there's like a bunch of blue chip ones, and then there isn't a lot of in between. I guess there isn't like, oh, there's middle ground long hoods and then there's raggedy long hoods. It's pretty much, if you get a raggedy long hood, like it's pretty much not running. Like that's how disarray they are. Like, and usually at that point you're dumping a lot of money into a resto and all that stuff. So it's either super high level ones that have, you know, history and specialty colors or and full multiple hundred, you know, couple $100,000 restores on them and whatever, or special motors. Or then you got the middle ground ones where people have been driving them, having fun with them, and they're like around 100, and so, but I feel like that market is kind of dwindled in the sense of, not that people aren't interested, but I feel like everybody who kind of wanted one of those got one. So
Well, that makes sense if you said there's a disparity between
yeah,
they're all done or
yeah,
or it's going to have to be the same way as
scratch.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike them, but I don't know. We've had this air-cooled conversation before. I just feel like I don't want one that old, I guess. I like the way they look. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah. I like the pre-war cars for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're that bad. I just feel like for me, for it to do what I needed to do,
I mean,
it would be a lot.
Yeah.
I would have to do a lot. Like I appreciate what they are for like narrow bodies, but I would need to like do SC flares on it. Like I would probably need to.
Oh yeah, because those would be super narrow. Huh?
Yeah, I would have to do like a 2.7 short stroke, which is a lot of money. Like I couldn't. I think I'd appreciate it, but I wouldn't enjoy it. Does that make sense? Like I appreciate it, but I wouldn't have fun with like a 2 liter.
So you're not even messing with it. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I've long time ago, like before we even did P-Car Talk, I thought about the idea of like trying to do that. Like, oh, could I do that? But I don't want to cruise it. Like it would be a cruiser.
Okay.
Because unless I took it to where I wanted to be like some nasty like I said, like a 2.7, like, fiberglass, got some of the steel out of the car, made it even lighter. That way you're maximizing your 250 horsepower that even on the short stroke that you have, a little bit wider fenders, and still, like, I think that would be a fun car to drive. But I mean, that's 100 to buy the car and then another 100 to do that, basically. So now you're in it at 200.
Now, do you want it
to have something that's like really cool, but then it's kind of like, can you sell that for 200? Probably not. So then, like, that's one of the rare instances in Porsche where you've dumped a lot of money into it, and you're gonna, I mean, that car will probably go for 160, so you lose like 40 on it. I'm not interested in that. Nope.
Losing money or
yeah, both.
both.
Or the timeline and the headache.
Well, yeah, I was going to say you can have a couple years.
Yeah,
right?
and the headache. Yeah, because there's line. It's not like people are like, oh yeah, doors wide open. We've got nothing to do here. Let's start on your car. Like that's like, all right, cool. We'll take a deposit and we'll call you in 8 months when we might be in a position where we can start doing maybe some motor work on your car. And it's kind of like, great.
Welcome to P-Car Talk, long hood.
I feel like most of the people that have these or have had them or are pursuing them or maybe have one in progress have multiple cars. Like this isn't going to be their only 911, meaning like they already have had multiple 911s and they still have them, meaning like they have other cars to drive. So if this project takes 3 years, takes 4 years, they don't care. I feel like long hood owners that go that far, that's part of the deal. Yeah. Like they're like, oh yeah, that guy already has like 8 911s. Like I must feel like every shop that is working on 911s, or I mean long hoods, their owners that have them there, they have multiple cars. I would be shocked if we polled them, if not that we would. And they're like, no, yeah, this is their only, this 70T is their only one. Nope.
He's been taking the bus every day.
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, he bought this car. His is his first 911. He's never had a 911. Like that just doesn't. Those don't work. Like it doesn't work that way. No one's going to just buy a car and just dump several $100,000 on it and never have taken that ride and never driven an air cooled and owned air cooled. Like they've had to have had that.
I'm sure it'll be great. Great.
I'll figure it out. It'll figure it out. It'll be okay. It's just money, right? It'll be fine. Yeah, no, pretty much not. So, our drive, we got a couple spots left, right? Popping off in October.
Yep.
It's at Tapoco Lodge.
Yep.
So, if you're not a member, become a member so you can go on the drive, right?
Yeah, you can click on our link on the Instagram or go to the website.
Yeah, get it done. Get out there. Enjoy yourself. Treat yourself, as they would say on Parks and Recs, right? Treat yourself.
Man, seen so many clips recently.
Treat yourself.
Ralph, you.
All right, so get that done. We want to see you. Like I said, a couple spots left. I know it's far out, but at a minimum, I would highly recommend, if you're not 100% on the dates, at least put your deposit in, because if you just wait to get on the wait list, like the likelihood, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. People have done it and gotten into the drive being on the wait list. I just think that you got a better shot if you lock in a deposit. That's all I'm saying.
He's not wrong.
So Singer has made a convertible.
I saw that.
Yeah. How about that? But it's not just any convertible. They went with a wide body. So, obviously it's a 964 chassis, for refresher for people who don't know. They only made a handful of wide body convertibles in 964 chassis anyways. And furthermore, even in the G body, I think the only way to get a wide body convertible in a G body was a Speedster, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because I think the rest of them were narrow bodies. There was a couple turbo look cars, a couple.
Yeah, like literally,
obviously
like
more than a couple, but very low numbers. And they bring super big premiums too, just because they have a turbo look. I think they call it that, the turbo look.
Yeah.
The difference though is all of those cars, even the 964 one, don't pack the punch this car has.
I would imagine it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So NA 4-liter going into this car, 420 horsepower. Obviously looks good. It's a Singer car, no doubt about that. I think this is a way for them, since they stopped making the Classic, to still use the motor of the 4-liter, right? Where they're still doing Classic stuff with it. They're still doing, they're like, hey, we've put this in cars. We don't want to just abandon this.
Also explains all the convertibles we saw sitting in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So maybe they were putting roofs on them, but I doubt it.
Probably not. I mean, they are very calculated, right? Since the nice part is since, once everything gets rolling, there's a timeline. It builds in a timeline for them. It gives them time back as a company to be able to figure out their steps, right? So where they're not rushing for the next model, they're not rushing to do the next thing. So they're doing a very good job of rolling out specialty models here and there. And they're only making a handful of these too. They're not going okay,
I heard 500.
Really? I heard less than 100. So we'll see.
Conflicting.
Not that it matters.
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's 500 people out there that want to spend nearly $1 million on a 911 convertible, but I could be wrong.
Other people that have had the Classics and have the DLSs.
But they probably,
I'm sure.
We haven't talked to them in a long time, so it'd be nice to actually, if we get back out to California and talk to these guys, or if we're ever in the UK and talk to them again to see kind of what they're scaling at and what their goal is as far as, because 500 units, I mean, I don't even think they've made 500 cars total yet at all. Everything combined.
Oh, I think so. I thought they made 300 something Classics or something like that.
Maybe, but I mean, how long did it take them to do that?
I mean, they were at the scale that they are now, So
I mean, obviously we were still there when they were talking about trying to pump cars out faster, but I think they're still taking a page out of. I mean, none of these cars are cheap. I'm gonna say what I was about to say anyways, even though it may be like foot in the mouth, but it seems like they're taking a page out of Porsche's book and trying to scale in the sense of having a lot of variants of options, meaning like, oh well, those are out. There's no allocations for that, but we have these.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, if you do buy a car from us, now you're part of the family, and you got a better shot when we release the next thing we release. And they're like, well, what do you release next? Like, that's classified. I can't tell you yet.
But you can put a deposit down.
Yeah, exactly. But you buying this car is going to make you first on the list, because everybody who has bought a car from us, that's how we roll. We talk to all of them first before a newcomer gets to come in. So I think that helps them continue to sell cars, right?
It's like, do you have a Classic? Do you have a DLS? Do you have a Turbo?
Pretty much. I guarantee they do.
If you have all three.
And there's probably, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's probably at least a handful of people that do have all those.
Because now you can have a single. I mean, I guess their whole outlook will be, if somebody's bought, well, all three of them, even not that, just that they can have a single collection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've heard David from, WeatherTech, bought 2 DLSs. I mean, when money's not an object, I guess you can do whatever the hell you want, right?
When money's not an object, there's an object for money.
Yeah, right. So he's probably just, I mean, it'd be kind of a flex, right? You got Singer on auto pay. Like, so you're just like, hey, you have my credit card number. So like when a new model comes out, it just auto pays.
Just tap the black card real
like
fast.
The rest of us with Netflix, like that thing, $700, like you just see a negative $700,000 on that black card. And it's like, what the hell? And then it says like Singer Corporation. You're like, oh, my credit card knows a new car came out before I even knew a new car came out. That's pretty cool. Like, I guess I got to go to California and spec a car.
Configuration complete. I didn't even do anything.
Exactly. We already know what you want. We got you. You're like, okay.
They just get to the point where it's like, you don't even get to choose. It's just, nope.
Yeah.
Here you go.
You're like, well, where you are in the line, blue is the only color left. You're like, all right, blue it is. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I love the fact that they're still like just evolutionizing their company. Essentially, they're not a one-trick pony. I mean, it may seem like it for outsiders, where like, oh, basically this is a classic 911 that they just cut the roof off of, but not quite. I love that they took it down the turbo route earlier. You know, obviously this is a past car. We already know it exists and all that stuff. I love that they reimagined the 930 turbo. I think that was such a cool exercise, and I think I like that car, believe it or not, more than I like the Classic.
I like it. It's got a lot of cool cues.
Yeah, I think
it just looks good.
Even I love the DLS, and I would say for me it rivals the DRS very closely.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the DLS. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm saying DRS, like freaking F1 stuff.
Yeah,
you have DRS.
It's coming up.
But yeah, I would say it's a very close second for me on that 930 turbo exercise. But DLS is number one still.
Yeah,
I just think because what it represents, like there's just so much into that car. All right, final topic. Motor Trend, one of the writers there, and now this is their opinion, so don't like roast this guy and go after them. But they listed the top 5 911s that they've ever driven as a journalist. And I think it's kind of interesting, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because everybody has their own opinion, and some of these may shock some people and some may not. So they said the 930 turbo pre-intercooler car, so the one it weighed like basically the one Magnus has for sale. And the reasoning behind it is the car weighs 2550, and they like the turbo lag. They like how it's just kind of vintagey.
Yeah,
that was
nostalgia.
Yeah, and the power made sense for that car. Meaning with like no intercooler and for like what it was at the time, it seems like, oh, that's not a lot of power in that car. But for 2,500 pounds, like, I mean, there is no argument about that. Like you go get a Miata and you put 210 horsepower in it, and it's fast.
Yeah,
that's what that car is essentially. But the engine's in the back. It's turbocharged. So that was one. Another one was, didn't say specific model, just said 993 generation in general. We really enjoyed it. All of them. He said, thought how much better they were than 964s. I don't know about if I agree with that, being an owner of both.
Yeah.
I like them both. I think.
Oh, that's true. You do.
I think in stock form, a 993 is a little soft. That's just my personal opinion. But if you do one up, yes, I agree. But I agree on a 964 too. You do a 964 up, it's more raw, it's more hardcore.
Do you think so? Not because we're going to go on a tangent and interrupt. Do you think if your 964 was built the exact same way as the 993 you have, that would be like super similar, or do you think there'd be enough difference?
I think they would.
Where you
feel,
like one or the other?
I think they feel really close, to be honest with you. Obviously, if it had all the same like the stuff the 993 has, if it had a 3.8 in it, it had all the stuff. The difference would be is I would have to find a way to lighten that 993 by a lot, because I mean the 964, because the 993 is really light, but it has, in place of a lot of steel in the body, it has a lot of carbon. Like the hood's carbon, tail's carbon, doors are carbon, fenders are carbon. Carbon fiber, plexiglass, like Lamex. You know, it's got a carbon roof on it. It's got a lot of lightweight stuff on it. I take that back. That roof's not carbon, but it's lightened. It's if it had pound for pound, I would need the wider track that the 993 has too. If I had all of that in the 964, I would take the 964's looks. Yeah, I still like the 964, but as we talked about, like it's almost like we put it in the air a lot years and years and years ago. It's like if I ever owned a 993, it would have to look like this, and then it shows up years later. Not that I would want to go through that.
I was going to say
crash again.
Not the way you want to do that.
No, that's why I said before. I was like, that's not how I wanted to like ascertain a 993. But if I ever had to get one, it would be in the form that it's in right now. The only way I could think that car could be at least any better for me, and not even, this is just nitpicky shit, like maybe if it just had more power. Like, not that it has lacking on power, but like instead of a 3.8, maybe a 4-liter. That's it. And that's being like really critical, because it doesn't need a 4-liter by any means. Like, that's just more of kind of like a flex. Be like, yeah, it's a 4-liter. It's like, oh my God, there's a 4-liter in that car on top of that. But it definitely does not need it. And the other car, and the next car he talked about was 996. Really enjoyed the 996 generation. I thought that was kind of a shock for me, like when I saw him say that, because I've driven quite a bit of 996s. I like them. I think they're great cars. I think they're, of all the 911s, I don't know if they'd be in my top 5.
Okay.
But
again, stock form, is that what he's comparing?
Yeah, again, there wasn't a lot of detail on this one. There was a photo of a cab, so I can't imagine it. He's talking about like
cab Tiptronic.
Yeah, I don't think he's talking about 996 GT3s or turbos. But I like both of those, but just as like a stock 996, I don't really see it. But okay, again, this is just a list of somebody who works for Motor Trend of their top 5. These next two I agree with, and I actually don't know if I agree with the second one I'm about to say, but 991.2 Gen, we talked about this already. I think that's a sweetheart spot.
I think it's a trendy thing to say these days now. That's what I think.
Well, they're drying up, as weird as that sounds. As many as they made, but you know what? It's that, to go on the tangents that we always go on, and I'll keep it brief. Yeah. It's the same crap that we talk about in the past. So it's a 991.2 Gen. When it's new, I'm not saying it's less desirable, but you don't know what's coming next. And then when the 992 comes out and the price point came out, I think that either made people hold where they were, because they're like, I'm not getting the new one because that's way more than I anticipated, and that's outside of my price range. Yeah. And I don't hate my car. So I think people either stayed there, or people that were going to be like, oh, when the 992 comes out, I'm going to get that. And if they didn't even have a 991.2 yet, they're like, F that 992, I'm just going to get a 991.2. And I think that's why a lot of those are drying up. And I think a lot of people are buying them as we talked about, as an all-rounder, where they're kind of like, man, there's tunability in this car. This car can do a lot. Like, I don't need to have a GT3 and air-cooled and a daily. Like, I can just buy this, and it can do all of that stuff. I mean, minus, you're not going to go to, like, air-cooled stuff. You're not going to get those vibes. But it's just as fast as it's faster than a GT3, honestly. Like, you get one, and you do the right bolt-ons on it, it's faster.
So one to Cayman, sent a GTS. He's like, no, 1.1 GT3 is about the same price. I'm like, well, buy one.
Yeah.
I mean,
have fun. But the crazy thing about it is, like, if you're not one of those clout chasers and you really just care about the driving experience, the 991.2, even if it is just your special car, and, you know, like, I'm chasing one as a daily, but it can be your special car, even though they made a lot of them. Porsche doesn't determine if it's special, like, you determine if it's special. Like, I think that's where a lot of people screw things up, where there's like, well, they only made so many of this, and they get into that statistical battle where they only made so many of these, they only made so, like, strip all that shit away. Like, if you get down to, like, the driving characteristics of what that car is, you start doing your research on that car and start to realize, and I'm talking about a base model, I'm not even talking about a done up one, like, what that car delivers on a day-to-day basis and the power of what that car is. I mean, it has forged connecting rods in it in the base model car. Like you said it off air earlier, it's like the new Metzger, essentially. It's like their newer 2JZ for the Porsche. It's basically whatever, you know, term you want to click onto it. And I think that a lot of enthusiasts and a lot of drivers and a lot of people who like to tune cars, they already knew this. Like, we knew this a long time ago. We just weren't on the market for them. I mean, we were talking about it when they flipped that over, and everyone was like, oh, man, they went to turbo. That's so stupid. After you got over that initial, oh, it's not NA anymore, but then you start to get into the tunability of it, and you start, I mean, the 991.2 Carrera T's, like, you start thinking,
Cody's was quick.
Yeah, it's the same model as the base. It just doesn't have the fancy seats. It doesn't have, like, a little bit of weight out of it. But, I mean, if you're dailying it, you probably do want to chase a base, just an option to base, right? You want ventilated seats. You want heated seats. It's still PDK. It's still going to be tuned. Like, it's, I don't know, man. It's in the expensive-ass Porsche market where things are so expensive. And don't get me wrong, they're not cheap. Like, I've looked at them. It seems like a lot for a base. I mean, they're living around the 85 to 90 mark. But it is a lot of cars still for that number. And the good thing about that is if you do have that car and you drive it and you take care of it, you're probably not going to lose a lot on that car. I mean, that car is probably not going to ever be less than like 65, 60 in this market, just because of what it brings to the table.
And then as this continues to be everyone's talking point, market will go up on it.
Well, yeah, instead of, you know, and I think our jobs, you know, having a podcast and being able to reach people, helping people get over the fact that it's not a low numbered car. It's not that, you know, that's okay. Because honestly,
whatever you buy that's not low number is going to be the same thing, you know? Because if you go buy a new 992 or anything like that,
like
you're in the same boat.
Like modern car wise, like, meaning in the Porsche world, like an 18 or 19 or even a 20, like Boxster S, that 2.5 liter flat four, you tune that car, there's not a lot that's going to be harassing you in the mountains either. You're going to be harassing GT3s. Like, trust me.
Absolutely.
Like, so yes, you might be little brother, but you're going to be big brother out there.
We've seen it in person.
Yeah, in multiple places, right? Like, we've seen Suncoasts, they've had one since the beginning, on track, out there dominating at Sebring.
They might have been the first one that I've seen get tuned.
Yeah, they got the wick turned up on those. So my point of bringing all this up, you know, and this person in Motor Trend talking about this, like, they didn't specifically say which one they were talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they did say the 991.2 base was probably one of their favorite cars, just because of what it brings to the table from a price point. Because when you start looking at what that car is and what you get for it and what you have to pay for that, in the Porsche world, it almost seems like a bargain, which sounds ridiculous to say, because that does suck to have to say, like, oh, $85,000 is a bargain. Like,
But it's not 140 starting.
Yeah, it's not. That's how broken you get. Like when you're in Porsche long enough, like Aaron and I talked about this. You go look at something and like you talk to a JDM guy or something. It's like, oh, I had to pay like $2,500 to get my like intake done on my GTR. I was like, that's it? We're like, I paid $2,500 to change the fluid in my car.
just to get, somebody to look at it.
I was like, you got a part? I didn't get anything.
I just got peace of mind.
Exactly. But I just think that's a really, really, and it won't always be that. I think a lot of people already know that, and I can tell you this just because I'm window shopping. There's not a lot of them for sale, which in turn doesn't make a lot of sense because you would think there's a lot of, they would have sold the most of those base models and S's. I'm looking at base models and S's.
They probably sell more S's than they did base models.
And you would think they would be everywhere, but they're not. There isn't that many of them. So either, like I said, people are holding or they're selling privately. You know, there's not out there. I'm looking at public like sites like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, like the big ones where people are paying to list their cars.
Yeah.
At any given point. You know, and I'm not talking about some janky ones. I'm talking about like well-kept ones. And I'm not talking about low milers either. I'm talking about just like...
You're looking for good sub 1,000 miles.
Yeah, I'm looking at like...
delivery miles.
No accidents, no, you know, frame damage, no salvage title cars, you know, like those kind of things. Like, and then that dwindles the pull down big time. There really isn't that many. And then the lower the miles, believe it or not, like you could spend $100,000 on a 991.2 base model, which for me, like just window shopping, when I see that, seems insane. I'm like, that's way too much. Like that. Why is this retaining this? Because of the car, what it delivers. The engine, it's good. Like the car is good. So this is a exercise in, even though it's a base model, it's showing that it has staying power.
Yeah. Well, we drove that one from Suncoast and we're like, oh, this is really quick.
They are. They're fast. Yeah. They're really fast. Yeah, you put a tune on it. And then the last car they enjoyed was the 992 GT3 RS. Okay. Maybe the theatrics of it. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I just... Okay. Yeah. You bought the Huracan Porsche, basically. Like everybody, every YouTuber, every, I don't know, Cars and Coffee clown that exists, you know. Or I go to the track, but it's a 8th mile track on some, you know, grassy lawn. Like it's not really a track. Again, I know I'm offending some people, but I don't really give a shit. I'm just saying that car was over the top, which I commend Porsche for building it and making it. But we even said it when they launched that car and showed it. And it's like 95% of those cars will never see what that car is capable of with downforce wise. I would say probably one of the few places on the planet where that car probably gets used appropriately is at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, that's the only place that, I mean, I don't know.
And I'm only saying that because I haven't been there, but I could see in Misha's videos, there's like 30 of them there in the background at any given point, and they're different ones, meaning like private owners are taking their 3RSs there and driving at the Nürburgring and applying the downforce that car offers.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I don't know, thinking about track layouts, I don't know if anybody has a long enough straight.
Yeah.
Because, maybe Le Mans.
I mean, the safety car looked good at Daytona going around that 3RS. Like, I'm sure that helped. Like
well, with Manti team being there, like, hey, think we can bring another car out?
I don't know if it's an age thing, but I feel like the older I get, I feel like that car on the street for me looks absolutely ridiculous. Like that car looks so out of place. Like seeing one on the street.
It's a race car. It's crazy that the...
But it is and it isn't. Like it has like it's like the... It's like almost like it's... This is not the right term because a car is capable of it. Yeah. But it's like it attracts posers. Because it's like you want to give the appearance of a race car, meaning like if you're the owner, but you don't want to race it. See what I'm saying? Like people don't, it's so expensive. And I feel like the price point screws a lot of people's heads up too, because they're like, well, this is an asset. And it's like, well, if you follow the old school terminology, no cars are assets and you should be driving them and you should beat the shit out of the car.
I was just thinking, what's weird, it's as soon as you said it, like think about the cup cars that we see. those look less wild
Yeah.
than the
Than
street
that.
car. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, like everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Like if you have the money and you buy that car, that's fine. I mean, I'm just saying like if you didn't know this because you have one and maybe you have a lot of friends and so you live in like a bubble and maybe you don't like have conversations with normal people that are also car enthusiasts for other brands, they talk about you. So I just want you to know that. Not that that matters, but they talk about
They
you.
like that though.
Yeah. No, but not the way they want them to talk about them. They think that they're talking about them in praise. They're not. They're talking about like, why'd you spend $500,000 to go to like Cars and Coffee? Like you didn't need to do that. They're like, but I can do that. And I'm like, you know, that's for you just saying that reiterates your douchebagness. Like you could have spent $500,000 on something way more badass than this. Because basically the only difference with those cars now is, and I would have to agree with Doug DeMiro on this, and like he makes a really good point. Like it's gotten so out of control, and it continued to get out of control with that 3RS on that level. Like the only thing it changes the definitiveness on that car is, oh, did you get a Wysock pack? Oh, what color, what PTS did you get on that car? Oh, did you get a Manti kit? So you already have a special car, but in order to make it even more special, you have to go down one of those 3 routes, and then you have to. So, but my point is they're so striking in a way, but at the same time, they're so cookie cutter in a way that the only thing it really changes on them is the color, because you see the big fins, you see all this stuff, and it's like, oh, he's got a blue one with white wheels. Oh, he's got a matte black one. They look the fucking same, and you spent more than $500,000 on it. And you think you're special.
I was trying to think about it in that perspective. Yeah, there's not much you can change. And then anything you see XX is going to be mostly interior stuff.
Yeah. And again, I think they're beautiful cars, and they just look so purpose. Like they're built for such a purpose, and it's the most extreme street purpose I've ever seen. And it's the coolest thing ever. Like, and I love that they have it, and I love the Manti pack on the car, like blacks the whole back window out, carbon fiber with a fin, and I think it looks badass. But I don't think it looks badass on the street. Like I think it looks ridiculous. Like I feel, you know how like the best analogy I can use, it looks like a 75-year-old man that has the whitest hair in the world, but did a just for men's hair dye thing last night and dyed all his hair black last night to go to Cars and Coffee, but has white eyebrows. Like an old ass liver spotted skin. And it's like, dude, everybody knows that's not your hair color, bro. Like, what are you doing? Stop faking. Like, we get it. It would be more of a man if you just didn't do that to yourself.
The just for Manti kit.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, I have a lot of love for him. I just don't, for me, that car seems so the most purpose driven street car, or I should say made street car that they ever made for the street. That car just does not belong on the street to me. Like I think in every journalist that's ever wrote about it or
ever journaled,
like talked about that car, I'm just reiterating their sounding board. They all had said the same thing. There's like, this is just too much for the road. It's too much. And it's, and to be fair, if we're going to be chastising things, you could even say the 991.2 is a little much for the road too. Like, I mean, it's at least less harsh and less doodads than that other car has on it. But I just think it's, I don't know. It's insane to say this, that the 991.2 GT3 RS Wysock car looks subtle next to one of those things.
I think I agree with you, but I think it's just because the contrasting things that they've done outside the giant wing.
Yeah, I mean the fin gill, like the hood gills, like in the opening for the reverse radiator on that, you got no frunk because it's straight race car. Yet, you know, somebody wants to put their 3/4 zip in there like that. He's like, but I want to put where am I going to put my Starbucks at? They're like, this isn't made for Starbucks.
Just hold it.
It's like, well, okay, well, can I get like one of those sippy cups that you can turn over and stuff doesn't come out of it then? Because
it's got another 3RS on it.
It's got a wing on it. Yeah, it's probably got downforce. Yeah. It's probably got DRS on the sippy cup.
Probably.
people will probably buy it. I mean, good for Porsche for making the car. I just think that execution is outstanding. I just think the purpose of where
what
I know they can't
craziness possible can they do next?
I know. Well, that's probably the pinnacle. That's why they're just kind of like, whatever. We're just done making cars.
Well, even
we're not making cars anymore.
Even the GT3 Rennsport one they made still doesn't look as wild to me because they kept the body color.
I would agree with you.
And that's race car. I would agree with you. That's straight race car.
I would agree with you.
Even the 2RS Club Sport.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Those are subtle, more subtle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like I'm hating on the car.
Yes.
I'm not hating on the car. I love the car. I'm hating on people's application of the car. And I know Porsche can't control that.
But that's what they wanted.
Yeah. I know they couldn't control it. Well, I don't know. I think if you ask Andy in a closed room and he knows he's not being recorded, he probably hates everything that I'm just saying too. He's just like, no, that car is made. I bet you he doesn't even have one.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him when he talks to Chris Harris. You know what he loves? He loves the touring. Actually, I know what he drives. He drives an ST.
Yeah.
So that's showing you right now, like, see, like that car's
no way.
Silhouette, you know,
Gel.
the silhouette, like gentleman spec.
Pretty straight pipes.
I just feel like an adult at a certain age cannot drive that car and be taken seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm hating because there's like people like, oh, he can't afford one, so that's why. It's like, no, dude, like even if I could afford one, I don't think I'd have, I don't know, I'd be embarrassed, honestly. Like, they're like, you're driving that car? Your gray ass is driving that car? Like, that's a kid car. That looks like a model. Like somebody built that in their, like, you know, Lego set or something. You're like, yeah.
They have one, and I built it.
Imagine that, going up to the clubhouse on that thing, like, look at me. It's like, wow. This guy's got some confidence issues, huh?
Right. But you put the golf clubs in the front? Oh,
yeah.
You didn't.
What do you do about this thing? Oh, you drove down the street to go to the steakhouse and you wore your gloves to do it? Awesome. Like, I don't know, man. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. It's just, that goes back to, like, I think to close with, there's that crowd of people that are chasing that I feel like that aren't proper. I guess that's not, I'll retract that statement. Not, proper is not the right term, but maybe not the enthusiasts that are more pure enthusiasts, because that's not maybe like where the sweet spot is, right? Like at the top of that food chain, everybody thinks like, oh, I want this, I'm chasing this. I compare that to like keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like, oh, well, my $4 million house isn't enough because Don over there bought a $10 million house and we both work at the same firm. And now I feel like an idiot because I feel like a have-not now. And you have a $4 million beautiful house. Like, I feel like that's what those cars are. And you could go cross-brand with that, too. It doesn't even have to be within Porsche. I mean, you could go people chasing, you know, Aventador SVJs or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, like, a regular Aventador is not good enough, right? But you could say that about anything, right?
That's why everybody's going to be buying 991.2.
Yeah, right. So. Anyways, we out.
All right.
That's it.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of PCAR Talk. Connect with us on Instagram at PCAR Talk or online at PCARTalk.com.